Hola, hola, hola. Testing, testing.
Hola, mister.
Probando. Buenos días, mis estimados aprendices. ¿Cómo están? ¿Todo bien? ¿Todo azul?
Sí mismo.
Permítame. Buenos días, mis estimados jóvenes.
Hola,
I hope you're doing well. But before to start with the lesson, please, I want to ask you a favor. Please turn on the cameras. Thank you so much for Jose Burgos, Gustavo, Sofía, Mili, Julio, Lorna, another Sofía Osorio, Natalia Pacheco, Alejandra Fajardo, María José Brito, Contreras, Martínez, Galeano. Please turn on the camera, okay? And today we're going to start with the in geometry. In this case, we're going to talking about the real important thing in geometry. With the last classes, we established the difference between what will be the conjecture and what will be the inductive reasoning, what will be the conditional statement, and how we can establish the statement and the reasons, how we can prove one singular geometry postulate, okay? Today, there's going to, how to say that, go back. We're going to go back with the geometry postulates and I'm going to explain what does that means. All right, let me change the camera view, speaker, let me ping my video, and that's it, full screen. So before to start with the class, please confirm, guys. How about the quality of the audio? Can you hear my voice loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay, that was the first question. The second question, how about the whiteboard? Can you read so well the words in the
Yes.
whiteboard? There is no issues at the moment going to read it?
No, they are not. They are not issues.
Okay, high quality imaging, I guess, right? The 1 out of 10, I think what 10 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
All
We'll
right,
give it.
9 out of 10, that one. Okay, so guys, today we're going to talking about according for what is the difference between the, well, what is the definition of the parallel lines and the transversals? Because that transversals will be so important because according for the transversals, we're going to identify the different kinds of angles. What are the kinds of angles? Well, the name of these angles will be the exterior angles, interior angles, consecutive interior angles, alternate exterior angles, alternate interior angles, and corresponding angles. As soon as you can read in the box located in the whiteboard, okay? But before to do that, we must to learn what is the definition of parallel line, because a few lessons later, we're going to study the postulate, how to calculate the slope of the line with parallels, perpendiculars, with positive slope, negative slope. Well, actually, you know how to do that already. We learned those topics in 8th grade, but we're going to do it once again in geometry, okay? Let's begin with what is the definition from parallel lines and transversals, okay? Parallel lines. Well, as soon as you can read in the definition, the parallel lines can be defined like a coplanar lines. Let me approach this one if you wish. I think you can read that better, okay? Good. Well, are coplanar lines that do not intersect, okay? Or in simplementally words, it's a couple of lines who have the same magnitude or measure, the same direction, but never touches each other, okay? So we have some models, some examples of parallel line. For example, the first one, we have two horizontal lines. What does that mean? That means the slope of the line, that case will be 0 for both of them because we're talking about horizontal lines. In the middle, we have two diagonal lines located to the left side from the right side. What does that mean? That happened because the value from the slope will be a negative value. Okay, and the positive value will be at the opposite side from the right to left. Okay, and that other kind of parallel line will be a couple vertical lines. Okay, this couple vertical lines, my dear students, obviously it has the same measure, the same direction, but remember, a vertical line doesn't have a slope. Okay, this is an undefined slope. Okay, and the question is, what is the definition for a transversal line? Well, definition of transversal line, there will be a line that intercepts, as a matter of speaking, a couple lines. These couple lines could be parallel or not, but the definition says is a line that intercepts a couple lines. For example, if you see in the model, we have three lines. We have the line P, the line Q, and the line R. Okay, obviously P and Q are not parallels. Well, they have the same measure, but obviously in one singular point, they're going to have a point interception. It will continue with the original trajectory for both lines, but in one singular point. But if you see the line P intercepts or touches at the same time the lines Q and R. That's why we can define the line P like a transversal, because touches or intersects two or more lines actually at the same time, okay? Form a set of angles. As soon as you can see in the whiteboard, these set of angles corresponding to angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, okay? So, and if you join to, obviously, all of these angles has a measure, okay? But if you add the addition between the angle 1, 2, 3, and 4, we are going to create a 360 degrees because we're completing a circle. Well, actually, if you add in that order 1, 2, 3, and 4, my dear student, that will be an angle, a negative angle, 260 degrees, because remember in geometry, when we're moving the angles or the revolution angles is clockwise. In geometry, the angle will be considered negative. But by the other hand, if you take like an order like a 3, 4, 1, and 2, this is counterclockwise, right? So because that will be, no, counterclockwise, sorry, will be if we're starting from 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, and 4. Sorry, my apologies. If you draw the circle starting from the angle 3, 2, 1, and 4, we're going to have a value of 360 degrees positive. Why? Because we are moving counterclockwise. As a matter of speaking, say happen with the angles 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're starting from 5, 6, 8, and 7, we have a negative 360 angles. But if you start from, as a matter of speaking, 8, 6, 5, and 7, that will be a positive 360 angles. Remember, in geometry, don't forget about it, because I insist in this concept, because in the fourth quarter in the class of physics, we're going to study a lesson that we call torque. And we have a positive torque and negative torque. And that signs of the torque will be determined by the same situation with the angles. If the how to say that, if the beam moves clockwise, the force will be negative. And if the beam moves counterclockwise, the force will be positive. But we're going to learn that lessons in a few months later, okay? Now, it's time to identify well, we know that names provided by the exterior angles, right? By the angles providing the transversal line, exterior angles, interior angles, consecutive interior angles, alternate exterior angles, and corresponding interior exterior angles and corresponding angles. What we have to do? Well, the main idea is complete the table to identify who is going to be the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, who's corresponding for the 90 angles. Okay, let's see if you got the point. The first and the name of the first angle are exterior angles. What does that mean? The word exterior. Someone who has to participate, what does that mean, the word exterior?
Outside.
Exactly. outside. So because in interior, obviously that will be inside, right? Well, to summarize the situation, to identify the exterior angles and interior angles, we must to see the picture of this problem, and we have to identify who's going to be outside from the lines P and Q, and what angles will be in the interior side of the line Q and P, Q and R, intersect by the transversal P. I don't know, someone, would you like to tell me which, who's gonna be the exterior angles in that case?
1, 7,
One,
and 4.
okay, 1, 7. Yeah, you're right. Let me write this sensor over here. Angles 1, 7, because 1 and 7 are outside. What else?
2 and 8.
2 and 8, because outside the transversals. Excellent. Remember this symbol means angle 2 and 8. Perfect. 1, 7, 2 and 8. Excellent. Now, someone who wants to tell me the opposite, that interior angles. Well, interior
4, 5,
inside.
3,
4,
6.
4, 5. 4, 5, 3, and 6. Excellent. Okay. Now, obviously, you know the difference between interior and exterior. Okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Now, let's going to we're going to talking about what does that means, that word consecutive. Any idea what?
Continuous.
Exactly, continues in the same line, the same sequence, right? For example, if we have to count 17, the consecutive numbers of 17 will be 18, 19, 20, 21, and so on, right? Okay, take a look. Now we have to identify who's going to be that, obviously interior angles, but that's supposed to be that consecutive. Take a look at the picture and tell me what could be the consecutive.
5 and 4.
Remember, that's supposed to be in the same line and one next to the other one. 5 and 6 cannot be consecutive at all because the number 6 is located from the right side.
3 and 6.
3 and 6, that will be one consecutive interior angles because both are interior and they're having the right side. One, next one. And the another consecutive interior angles, what will be?
4 and 5.
4 and 5. Remember, consecutive means one next to another one, but that's supposed to be in the same side of the transversal. In this case will be 4 and 5. And you're right, 4 and 5. Now, in the next step, we're going to talking about according from the exterior, interior, you know, exterior, outside, interior, inside. Do you know what does that means, the word alternate? Alternate. Alternar, ¿qué quiere decir? What does that mean?
Como cambiar.
Exactly. Have you ever played? Well, I don't know. I'm not pretty sure. Right? But I don't know. Have you ever played in PE, in the class of PE? Not sure at all in this level. But when you're wearing, I don't know, since since first until sixth grade, have you ever played zigzag?
Yes.
Well, the word alternate, that means we have to looking for, okay, the angles in this case, interior or exterior, in this situation, right? That's supposed to be face to face. Just like, for example, do you remember the example for the vertical angles? Right? In the vertical
Yes.
angles, they have a position like a diagonal, okay? In the opposite sides, face to face. Well, same happened with the alternate exterior angles and alternate interior angles. Well, what are the exterior angles? We are identifying the exterior angles are 1, 1, 7, 2, and 8, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Let's going to take the first exterior angle, the alternate exterior angle. We have the number 1 located to the left side. So what will be the alternate exterior for the number 1?
2.
Are you sure? No.
Seven.
That will be, no.
8.
8, face to face. Remember, in this position, face to face, 1 and 8. Understood? ¿Entendieron?
Yes.
All
Entonces,
right.
mister,
Hold on. 1 and 2. This is the first one. ¿Me iba a decir algo? Venga, 1 and 8.
tiene que ser diagonal.
Exactamente, diagonal, cara a cara. Eso quiere decir alternate. Exterior son los de afuera. Y como dice usted, tiene que estar en diagonal. Entonces la primera pareja sería uno ¿con quién? ¿Uno con quién?
8.
Correcto, 1 con 8. Y la otra pareja sería,
7 con 2.
correcto, 7 con 2 o 2 con 7, es lo mismo, ¿verdad? Perfecto. En ángulo 2 con el ángulo 7. Bueno, eso es the alternate exterior angles. Same definition with the next one. Alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles.
4
Okay.
and 6. And
4
5
and
2.
6. 4 and 6. And another one, sorry. 4 and 6. And another one will be, did you say
5 and 3.
5 and 3 or 3 and 5? It's the same. 3 and 5 or 5 and 3? Well, actually, to go back to consecutive interior angles, let me see, 4, 5, 3, 6, and also, no, you're right. In the exterior, in the consecutive interior angle, if you see in the upper, by the other hand, if you move this transversal line into horizontal position, yeah, Maria was, I think, Maria Jose was, right? When he said 5 and 6. Who said in the consecutive interior angles 5 and 6? Who said that one? ¿Quién mencionó 5 y 6? En los consecutivos, los ángulos internos consecutivos, ¿quién lo dijo? Bueno, quien lo haya dicho, también tenía razón, también se puede decir, puede decirse 4, 5, puede decirse 3, 6. Y si le damos vuelta a esto, puede ser también en los consecutivos, vamos a abrir esto también, puede ser también el ángulo 4 con el ángulo 3, como también el ángulo 5 con el ángulo 6. Aclarando. ¿Me explico? ¿Me explico?
Sí.
Bueno, o sea que la persona que lo mencionó, es que no los estoy viendo los rostros, ya que la pantalla está full screen, para que pueda aprovecharse de la mejor manera posible la pizarra. O sea que si le damos vuelta a esto, sí caben los consecutivos 5, 6 y 4, 3. Aparte del 4, 5 y 3, 6. ¿Ok? Now, corresponding angles. Ángulos correspondientes. These corresponding angles, it's so easy to identify because you have to identify who's going to be the exactly value of the number who is located in the same position from one group to another one. Let me illustrate this one. For example, this is one group, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the first one. And this is going to be the second one. the second team. Okay. Obviously, in the, the orange and the black circle, both has 360 degrees. Okay. Would you like, let's focus in the angle number 1. What in the orange circle? What angle will of the black circle will be located in the same position of the angle 1?
5.
5. Well, this is the definition from corresponding angles. The first one will be angle 1 and angle 5. Okay. What angle will be in the same position than the angle 2?
X.
Exactly. Angle 2 and angle 6. Okay. What else? What's going to be the next corresponding angle?
3 and 8.
What? Yeah.
3 and 8.
No,
3 and 8.
do it. No, okay, hold on. 2 and 6. Yeah, you're right. But 2 and 8, you
No,
said
3 and 8. 3.
3 and 8. 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 And finally,
7 and 3. 7
no,
and 4.
no. 7 and 4. Or 4 and 7. This is the definition from corresponding angles. Okay, that angles that will locate it in the corresponding position of the vertical angles. Well, I think that was so easy for me to explain you. Drawing a circle and said, well, identify in these two teams who's gonna be in the corresponding position between one in the orange circle and the black circle. Okay, this is the explanation. Okay, according from the definition of parallel lines, transversal lines, sorry, and the name of the angles generated by the intersection between one line that touches at the same time another two lines. These two lines could be parallel, that could be not, okay? So basically, this postulates, my dear students, is so close in the relationship with the congruency. Why? Because let's going to pay attention in the orange circle. Forget about it, the rest of the picture. Remember, we have two lines that intersect, okay? And we have a linear pair, two adjacent angles, 1, 2, and another linear pair will be 4 and 3. Remember the angles that born between an intersection of two lines, we call that angles like a vertical angles, right? Right? So
Yes.
we can say the angle 1 will be congruent with the angle 3, right? So, okay. Because we're talking about vertical angles. Let me write over here. Angle 1 will be congruent with the angle 3. And the angle 2 obviously will be congruent with the angle 4, right? Because we're talking about vertical angles. If we are studying the congruency between the orange circle. Now, let's focus in the black circle. The angle 5 will be congruent with which one?
With 8.
With the angle 8. And also, the angle 6 will be congruent with the angle 7. Why? Because we are using the vertical lines postulate. Vertical,
And angle 1 can be congruent to angle 8.
Excuse me?
Angle 1
Yeah, I'm going
can
to,
be congruent to angle 8.
of course it is. This is the next explanation I'm going to give you. I'm saying using vertical lines, we identify congruent angles, okay? Now, if we're talking about the alternate exterior angles and the alternate interior angles, the postulate mentioned that alternate interior or exterior will be congruent. Will be congruent with which one? With by themselves. For example, you mentioned if that we're gonna be congruent angle 1 with angle 8. Yeah, of course. Angle 1 will be congruent with angle 8 because this angle will be alternate exterior angles. You're right. What else? The angle 2 will be congruent with which one?
Angle 7.
Angle 7. So angle 2 will be congruent with the angle 7 by means of alternate exterior angles. Aha. What are the interior angles? Alternate interior angles?
4, 6, and 3
4,
and 5.
6. Okay, for that reason, 4, angle 4 will be congruent with angle 6, and angle 3 will be congruent with angle 5 by means of what? Alternate interior angles. Same happened over here. Alternate interior angles. Understood up to this part? Then the first one only is just to identify who's going to be the exterior, who's going to be the interior. And the alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles will be congruent by themselves. Understood up to this part? Yes or no?
So basically, alternate angles are congruent to each other, right?
Exactly, between the same family, the same class. The exterior with exteriors and the interior with interior. Now, in the consecutive angles, just my apology, because the person who says angle 5 and 6 and 4 and 3, it's also consecutive interior angles. Actually, we can define like a linear pair also. Well, consecutive interior angles, another way of saying is a linear pair, but inside the transversal. But these consecutive interior angles, for example, 4 and 5, 3 and 6 are not congruent because one is consecutive to the another one. Okay, so basically the consecutive means when you add, when you join together the number 5 and the number 4, we're going to have a semicircle, right? Yes or no?
Huh?
If you got in the angle 4 with the angle 5, one next to the other one, we have a semicircle. Yes or no? Si nosotros tomamos el ángulo 5 con el ángulo 4, así, hacemos esta vueltecita. ¿Qué tenemos?
Semicírculo.
Bueno, ¿y cuánto mide un semicírculo?
180 grados.
Correcto, entonces la suma de estos dos ángulos sería 180. Si usted toma el ángulo 3 con el ángulo 6, ¿qué tendríamos? Otro semicírculo, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Entonces sería otra vez 180. Si usted toma el 4 con el 3, ¿qué tengo yo? Otro semicírculo, son 180. Y el 5 y el 6, si los toma juntos, entonces, ¿qué significa? Que formamos un ángulo de 180. Conclusión. Podemos decir que los ángulos consecutivos interiores de una transversal van a ser suplementarios. ¿Me doy a entender?
Pero lo que está explicando
Sí.
es que
Ajá.
usted explicó que el 8 y 4 son ángulos complementarios, ¿verdad?
No, 8 y 4, recuerde que 8 y 4
Sí,
es,
sí. Ah, no, sí.
no, es otra
180.
cosa. Estamos hablando de 180. 4 con el
Sí,
3
complementarios.
puede ser 180. 5 con 6 puede ser 180. 3 con el 6 puede ser 180. Y 4 con el 5 puede ser 180. ¿Estamos?
Sí.
Bueno, ahora, el ángulo correspondiente, ¿qué quiere decir correspondiente? el ángulo que está en la misma posición. Todos los ángulos correspondientes entre sí van a ser congruentes. Así de sencillo, porque el 1 está en la misma posición del 5, correspondiente igual. So, corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Como están en la misma posición, they're in the same position, all of them will be congruent. So, one, same position with 5. Well, that reason, okay, angle 1, congruent with 5. Angle 2, congruent with which one? With one angle?
6.
With 6. All right. Angle 3 will be congruent with the angle
8.
8. Perfect. And the angle 4, obviously, will be congruent with the angle
7.
7. And this is going to be the relationship between the congruency with the corresponding angles. Okay, I don't know if you have doubts or questions or everything is clear.
Everything's clear, basically.
Do we have some time yet or not?
Nah, 9 minutes. 9 minutes.
¿Cuánto nos quedan?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. Oh, okay. So excellent. Now, because we know that we learned the relationship between those angles, let's going to do it. Let's going to try one singular example. Let me know I think we can do it over here. Okay, I'm going to copy the example. And after that, we're going to develop it, okay? And let me know when you copy the rest of the postulates to erase the whiteboard, all right? Just let me know when you're ready. Let's do an example. With this example, that will be useful to determine this relationship what we're talking about, okay? So the example number 1, okay? The problem says, if measure angle 1 equals 3x plus 40. 3x plus 40. Comma, measure angle 2. Measure angle 2, that will be equal 2 parentheses y minus 10. Y minus 10, comma, and the measure of the angle 3 will be equal to 2x plus 70. The instruction says, okay, find x and y, comma, find x and y. I'm going to drop the picture of the problem, okay? You said otra vez Tus ojitos de noche serenan. ¿Por qué será, Dios mío, que me hizo tan inteligente? Hasta yo mismo me sorprendo. Y tan humilde al mismo tiempo, ¿verdad, muchachos?
No, no, humilde.
Por cierto, esta flechita quiere decir que son congruentes. Estas dos líneas, como esta es paralela, perdón, esta recta es paralela con esta. Y esta recta es paralela con esta, eso es lo que quiere decir. Y obviamente, como las todas se interceptan, estos huequitos que hace son las transversales. Para que usted lo pueda ver. Ahora vamos a colocar los numeritos de estos. 1, ok, que un punto acá. Ya mire bien los 4 puntitos aquí. 1, 2, 3, 4. Primero voy a numerar los puntos, el deletrear esto. Este es el punto FE, FE, HG. Ahora vamos a colocar la posición de los ángulos. 1, 3. 1, 3. 4, 2. Okay. I don't know if you need still need this that word corresponding angles, guys. Yes or no? ¿Puedo borrar esta palabrita? ¿Puedo borrar?
Ya
Sí.
¿Sí? No voy a borrar el resto, solo esto quiero. Confirmando, ¿esto lo borro?
sí.
Vamos. Perfecto. Okay, this is the instruction, and we're supposed to try to looking for the the equation. For example, the problem says, okay, the angle one has a measure of 3x plus 40, okay? And the angle 2 is equal to parentheses y minus 10, and the angle 3, 2x plus 75x and y. Take a look in the angle 1 and the angle 3. Do you mind to tell me what will be the name of those angles, 1 and 3? If you want, you can change the color if you wish. I'm going to change the color. I'm going to change the color. 1 and 3. What is the name of these angles?
Consecutive.
No, consecutive is the number 3. That's supposed to be next to the number 1, right? But if you see the number 1 is in the same position the number 3, yes or no? If you see, we have a shape of B. Shape of B, 1 is in the same position the angle 3. For that reason, those angles will be congruent because angle 1 congruent with angle 3 by means of what is the name of the angle who is located in the same position?
Corresponding angles.
Corresponding angles. So I'm going to write over here, corresponding angles. By the way, at the moment you're going to solve problems, you don't need to write the postulate, but I'm doing because in this situation I'm trying to explain it with more details why those angles are congruent. Well, let's going to apply the angle 1. Remember is 3x plus 40. That will be equal to 2x what? Plus 70, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right then. So let's going to solve this equation. 3x minus 2x will be equal to 70 minus 40. 3 minus 2 will be 1. That will be x. And 70 minus 40 will be 30.
Sorry.
Excellent. Oh, we have the first answer, right? The value from x. Now, let's going to take a look to trying to find out the measure of the angle 2. Okay, see what happened. This is the angle number 2. I'm going to change the color once again. Even though the problems are markable only 1, 2, and 3, that doesn't mean there's no more angles because we have a little bit more vertices. So for that reason, we can assign more vertices as you wish. But what happened with this angle 2? If you see the angle 2, it's a vertical angle with the number 3. Why? Why? Because what happened? Just what happened? This is the number 4, right? By the way. What happened if I added this problem? If I added this problem, this angle 5. You can do it. There's no restriction. But if you see, this number 5 is corresponding with which one? ¿Con quién es correspondiente 5?
3.
It's corresponding with 3, and not only with 3, it's corresponding also with
1.
With 1. Oh, so that reason, in which angle would you like to relationship the angle 2? With the angle 1 or the angle 3?
3.
Angle 3. Okay, so we're going to say the angle 2 will be congruent with the angle 5 and angle 3 by means of corresponding angles. Or if you want to summarize, this explanation, we said angle 5 is congruent with angle 3 because it's corresponding angle, okay? And you can say the angle 2 is congruent with the angle 5 because both angles are vertical. Yes or no? 5 and 2, both are vertical angles because they're face to face. Yes or no?
Yes.
And for that reason, that will be congruent also. Well, let's going to do it. Angle 2, is 2 parentheses y minus 10. That will be equal to, we said angle 3. What is the angle 3? 2x plus 70. Because this number 2 is multiplying, passes to divide. Y minus 10, that will be equal. 2x divided by 2 will be x. 70 divided by 2 will be 35. Yes or no?
Mister,
Again,
why didn't you use distributive property?
you can do it also in that way. If you wish, you can do a distributive property also. There's many ways you can solve. If you wish distributive property and have to solve for y, or if you want to avoid the distributive property because 2 and 70 both are even numbers, we can simplify the expression divided by 2, all of them. But there is no inconvenience if you want to apply the distributive property. At the end, the answer will be the same. Okay? Okay? Understood?
Yes.
Yes.
All right then. And this number 10 that is subtracting passes to adding, right? Y equals x plus 45. And what is the value from x? 30 degrees, right? 30. So 30 plus 45, the answer will be 75 degrees. Oh, I missed the value degree. And this is going to be the solution set for this example. Questions? Questions?
Yeah, no.
All right. Do we have some time for another problem or not?
No.
Or it's
No,
over?
it's
Oh,
over.
okay, guys. So guys, thank you so much ahí está mejor. Thank you so much for your attendance. Have a great, wonderful night, day. Y recuerden, muchachos, si este video les sirvió de utilidad, denle like, comparta, suscríbase. Recuerde, su compartir es mi sueldo. Suscríbanse, no sean malos, no sean tacaños, denle like al canal. Bueno, muchachos, los veo el lunes. Si Dios así lo permite, este video lo vamos a subir ahorita mismo en la plataforma de YouTube. Cuídense mucho. Éxitos y
Adiós,
bendiciones.
mister.
Bye,
Bye,
bye.
mister.
Bye, bye. So long. Take care of yourself.